A 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, hello.
Traveling at a speed at 45 RPMs, where the vinyl will bring you to a new listening destination. Faster speed, faster sound, clearer sound, so they say.
So they say.
I'm your host, Kennedy, and in the studio with me, as always, shoot from the hip, and I'll answer from the lip.
Dr. Ian Clarke, thank you very much.
And Ian, today I want to ask you something. Does the name Harold Leroy Jenkins mean anything to you?
Harold Jenkins. No, he must have changed it.
It starts off with, "Hello, darling. It's been a long time."
That was he definitely changed it from Jenkins. That's right.
Conway Twitty. And the trivia behind that, they asked Conway Twitty, they say, "Conway Twitty, how did you get the name Conway Twitty?" And he looked at a map and saw
I heard about that.
Conway and then Twitty. But Harold Jenkins would have been a great country name.
He had, by the way, we have to do this now and then, sidebars. He had a great voice.
He was awesome.
He was really, really good. Like, he was up there close to Elvis and just a great voice. And then he went pure country. But at the beginning, he was kind of poppy, if you kind of check him out. Kind of Roy Orbison-y.
So, Dr. Clarke, what are we doing today? Is it a Brigitte Bardot show?
No, that would be interesting. I actually have two of her albums. I think you gave me one.
Yes, sir. The picture disc. She was gorgeous.
Yeah.
So was Anne Margaret, apparently, back in the day.
Yeah, I have one of her albums.
She was a singer.
Yeah, you say that.
Okay, cool.
She was in Tommy, the movie. There you go.
Watch that.
Today we're talking about why are sex and rock inseparable partners. So, I said partners. So what's the role of sex in rock music? It's a touchy subject, no pun intended. We're not going to get too racy. That's not why we're here. Remember, we are dedicated professionals, team players, but with an entrepreneurial spirit. Sex is the predominant theme in rock and roll music. It always has been and likely always will be. You can't get around it. But why? Sex doesn't play a big role in jazz music and folk music, classical or bluegrass. Certainly not gospel. So why rock and roll? It begins with youth. Rock and roll started as dance music for young people, 3 chords and an amplifier. From its early days in the 50s to today, rock and roll has been intertwined with themes of love, desire, rebellion, and sexuality. In the 1950s, people like Elvis Presley and Little Richard introduced a more provocative style of performance. They sure did. Their music and stage presence were seen as rebellious and often challenged the conservative norms of the time. Oh yeah, I remember Elvis on Ed Sullivan. This rebellious spirit laid the groundwork for more explicit expressions of sexuality in rock music. In the 1960s and 70s, the sexual revolution influenced rock and roll significantly. Bands like the Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin pushed the boundaries of what was acceptable in mainstream music. Their lyrics and performances often featured themes of love, lust, and hedonism. This era also saw the rise of glam rock with people like David Bowie and T-Rex, who embraced androgyny and fluidity in their on-stage personas. 80s and 90s brought further exploration of sexuality in rock music. The emergence of subgenres like punk and grunge allowed artists to challenge traditional norms and openly address topics of sexual identity and desires. Bands like Nirvana and Nine Inch Nails were known for their raw and provocative lyrics. Today, rock and roll continues to be a platform for artists to express their sexuality and challenge societal norms. While the way these themes are presented has evolved over time, the connection between rock music and sexuality remains a powerful aspect of the genre. Alan Bloom, in his seminal work, The Closing of the American Mind, launches his inquiry into American music by citing Plato's thought that in order to take the spiritual temperature of an individual or a society, one must mark the music. He admits music's centrality to the human experience, but claims that rock is an abuse of music. Quote, rock music has one appeal only, a barbaric appeal to sexual desire, not love, not eros, but sexual desire, undeveloped and untutored. It acknowledges the first emanations of children's emerging sensuality and addresses them seriously, eliciting them and legitimating them, not as little sprouts that must be carefully tended in order to grow into gorgeous flowers, but as the real thing. Rock gives children on a silver platter with all the public authority of the entertainment industry, everything their parents always used to tell them they had to wait for until they grew up and would understand later. Unquote. He goes on to say that the very beat of rock and roll music, quote, is reminiscent of sexual intercourse. Rock is obsessed with sex. It is obsessed with sex without limits. Its understanding is that sex is the natural course of action, and it eliminates the need for even pornography. It has consumed America and the West with the rawest desires of the soul. Well, I know one thing. I am never going to party with that guy. And that was from 2012. It's a good read, by the way. It's a classic. So we've looked at one side of the coin so far. We know that rock and roll is fueled by sexuality. We know that it began as dance music for young people. So we are certainly not going to discuss the finer points of romance. Let's take a look at the other side of the coin. What does sex and sexuality look like in rock music aside from the lyrics? First off, why don't we take a look at rock artists who are considered to be sexy? That's going to go a long way in providing information, so to speak, regarding our topic. Okay, the sexiest rock stars. Kennedy wrote this list for me. No, I'm kidding.
Probably.
Okay. This.
I'll agree with some of them for sure.
This is male rock stars.
Oh, I'm not writing that list.
You wrote this list for me. Kurt Cobain, Jim Morrison, Axl Rose, Chris Cornell, Robert Plant, John Bon Jovi, Freddie Mercury, Michael Hutchence, Jared Leto, Bono, Peter Frampton, Elvis Presley, Bruce Dickinson, Jerry Cantrell, M. Shadows, Billy Joe Armstrong, Corey Taylor, Alex Turner. He is as cute as a bug, by the way, Alex Turner. Alex Turner, Arctic Monkeys.
No. I know the band. I just would know. I don't know what he looks like if I saw him walking in a mall.
He could bite you in the neck. You wouldn't.
No.
Sebastian Bach, Chester Bennington, David Lee Roth, Ian Gillan. Yeah, Ian Gillan sounds like him. Okay. Now because we're doing goofy lists, why don't we include who are considered the sexiest women in rock and roll again?
Ian, before you go with that, though.
Yeah.
When I graduated high school, just list me the first three. What you said? You said Jim Morrison.
Jim Morrison. Who else?
You said Axl Rose.
Axl Rose. Kurt Cobain.
Okay. Girls in my high school loved Eddie Vedder. For some odd reason, back in the day, he was cute as a bug, right?
Right.
That was the whole thing. Freddie Mercury. I don't know any woman that thinks Freddie Mercury. If you had to choose anyone in Queen, it has to be Roger Taylor.
He was cute.
He was the better looking one, right? And Bon Jovi, hey, listen, he grew up in an Italian household. Mom loves John Bon Jovi. Still thinks he looks good. I think he looks like a grandma these days.
Yeah, he got pretty old pretty fast.
Even Ozzy looks like a grandma. Same with Axl Rose. They look, they have that look. Even Steven Tyler, the way they do these things. You ever see those memes? I'm not trying to insult it. I just see the memes, but fine. And Michael Hutchence. That's like the Adonis of.
He was like Jim Morrison's son. Okay, these are the women. Again, no blowback on this. We did not make this list. I'm trying to make it part of this conversation. Ariana Grande, Beyonce, Britney Spears, Grace Slick, Lana Del Rey, Rihanna, Selena Gomez, Gwen Stefani, Jennifer Lopez, Joss Stone, Debbie Harry, Katy Perry, Natalie Imbruglia, Pat Benatar, Shakira, Stevie Nicks, Michelle Phillips, Avril Lavigne, Belinda Carlisle, Susanna Hoffs, Carly Simon.
Can you add Mitsu from Quebec?
You love her, throw her on.
Oh, she's beautiful. And Kylie Minogue.
Sure.
Sophie B. Hawkins.
This could go forever.
She's gorgeous. She still is gorgeous. And I would even put Sarah McLachlan on there.
Sure. Okay, I know it.
You know, sorry, Shania Twain,
Well, yeah.
but she's country, right?
Yeah, kind of country pop. I always thought she's more pop than country.
And Amy Seether, she was from Evanescence.
Oh, yes. Yes.
She is beautiful. So
anyway, that represents the physicality. I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to pull this out of a swan dive. Don't go there.
not today. Madonna in 1980, she looked like Marilyn Monroe.
Don't do it. So I know it's goofy. As I said, stay strong. We'll all get through this together.
Stay strong.
Stay strong. So now we know what sex appeal is. So how is it applied? Let's look at the most overt example of that. Groupies. The word groupie originated around 1965 to describe teenage girls or young women who followed a particular group or band of musicians on a regular basis. Possibly the earliest song to refer to groupies was Motherly Love by the Mothers of Invention, recorded in March 1966. That'd be Frank Zappa. A prominent explanation of the groupie concept came from Rolling Stone magazine, which published an issue devoted to the topic titled Groupies, the Girls of Rock. That was February of '69, so that really almost invented groupies. Time magazine also, same year, published Manners and Morals, the Groupies. So between the two, you had a kind of a background phenomena. Female groupies have a long-standing reputation for being available to celebrities, pop stars, rock stars, and other public figures. Led Zeppelin singer Robert Plant is quoted as distinguishing between fans who wanted brief sexual encounters and groupies who traveled with musicians for extended periods of time, acting as a surrogate girlfriend and often taking care of the musician's wardrobe and social life. Women who adopt this role are sometimes referred to as road wives. Okay, before we get too funky with all this, we have looked at how sex got into rock and roll, what sex looks like, the groupie phenomena, which has died off somewhat thankfully. Next and last is sex in lyrics. Now, I'm going to avoid the most overt examples of the subject because in a way they're too easy. Ernest Hemingway wrote what he called was the iceberg principle. He believed that 4/5 of good writing can't be seen, just like an iceberg, but somehow you're aware of it. Well, if you want to talk about sex and rock and roll lyrics, let's talk about classic rock with more subtle examples, because a lot of the new stuff isn't what you might call subtle. So here we go. This is just a random selection. Peter Gabriel, Sledgehammer. Peter Gabriel once said, quote, sometimes sex can break through barriers when other forms of communication are not working too well. Well, in that case, Sledgehammer is one of the most communicative songs ever released. The Beatles' Ticket to Ride. Quote from John Lennon, "The prostitutes who worked the streets in Hamburg had to have a clean bill of health, and so the medical authorities would give them a card saying that they didn't have disease." He said he coined the word ticket to ride to describe these cards. Remember, folks, you heard it in this podcast first. Cutting Crew, I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight. Great song. The story goes that Cutting Crew frontman Nick Van Eed came up with the phrase during a round of passionate lovemaking with his girlfriend. To quote him, "Yes, I can't tell a lie. It's a song written about my girlfriend who's actually now the mother of my daughter." So it seems things turned out fine for him. Tina Turner, Private Dancer. Mark Knopfler wrote this in '82. And I don't know how Tina did not figure this out, but she was surprised what it was about. Some of the lyrics were, "I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money. I'll do what you want me to do." I don't know how she missed that, but she did.
That's like a gentleman's club to me.
Yeah, a private dancer is an old concept.
It's a great song, though.
Oh, yeah. Billy Joel, Only the Good Die Young. I didn't know it was a song about sex, but that's what he said it was, or is. So.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was just a nostalgia thing, but I guess he's talking about Catholic girls. Okay, I kind of get it.
Sure.
Prince, Little Red Corvette. As a rule of thumb, anything Prince writes, well, most of it is about
sexual.
It's sexual. So when he sings about a Corvette, Yeah, a red Corvette. You can use your
No,
imagination.
elaborate.
No, I'm going to talk about the Foo Fighters all my life. Behind the frantic drumming, emphatic guitars, and Dave Grohl's guttural screaming, Foo Fighters All My Life is secretly a very dirty tune. Little Richard Tutti Frutti. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're into rock and roll and classic rock and way developed, Tutti Frutti is a really raunchy song. And Little Richard always switched around the lyrics. Jackson Browne, Rosie. 1977, story of a concert technician who flirts with a girl before a show. Didn't know that one, but I sure knew this one. Starland Vocal Band, Afternoon Delight.
Wonder what that means.
Starland was made up of a pair of married couples that scored their only hit in 76. Musically, Afternoon Delight was about as inoffensive as the song could get. Easy-going pop melody. Lyrically, however, it was about sneaking home for midday lovemaking. And if you know anything about Anchorman and Ron Burgundy, you'll know how he discusses that. Frankie Goes to Hollywood, the song Relax. I remember when it came out, there's a bizarre video with it. Yeah, that's all it is a sexual theme. Olivia Newton-John, Physical.
The whole album cover.
Yeah, and when it came out, we were all shocked because she was fresh off of Grease and Girl Next Door. And some of the lyrics are, let me hear your body talk. There's nothing left to talk about unless it's horizontally. Yeah, okay. Dixie's Midnight Runner, Come On Eileen. Okay, Kevin Rowland, who wrote it, said it was about his first girlfriend. He's 14 and 15, or 15 and in lust. Didn't know that one. I thought it was about Johnny Ray. Okay. Well, that brings our salacious discussion to a close. You have had a good primer on the role of sex in rock music when it started, the lyrics, the participants, the performers. You could really write a book about it. Oh wait, hundreds of people have already done that. So for a start, pick up Pamela DeBar's I'm With the Band. Years ago, I had a bit of an interesting correspondence with her about some of the stuff in it. It's a great book, and she's an interesting person. So thank you. You've been listening to Masters of Rock Talk. I am your co-host, Dr. Clarke, and I've been joined today by my buddy,
There's Kennedy.
And with that,
Au revoir. And I'm still stuck on Jackson Browne, running on empty, Doctor My Eyes. What the hell?
I know. I did my research and then I thought that wasn't necessary, but what the hell?
Interesting.
Interesting.
That was very, very. I liked it. It was very insightful.
It's fun.
And sometimes we gotta do something light because YOLO.
Because there's a lot of heavy stuff out there.
That's it. And as Dr. Clarke was saying, I'm gonna say goodbye.
I'm going to say au revoir till next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.